Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're talking about my October favorites. I have a good amount here because I didn't do a September favorites. I didn't really have any. So I'm definitely making it up for this month, and I do have two unfavorites as well. So let's get into the goodies. The first thing I want to talk about is actually a hair product. It's the Bumble Hairdressers Invisible Oil. It's a heat and UV protective primer. I got this in, I think it was my Sephora Play box, the first one I received. And I don't usually get excited about hair products because I don't have much hair, as you know. And I don't know, I just don't get excited about hair products. I'm very simple when it comes down to my hair. I want minimal maintenance. But this one, I said, you know what, I want to try it. It smells good, seems like it's a nice product. Oh my gosh, I'm almost out of it. I'm down here at the bottom. It's so good, so good. I use this in conjunction with a Moroccan oil curl defining cream that I have, and I just use maybe a pea size amount because that can make my hair a little too oily. I use about a pea size and I squirt, it's a spray, and I spray about 3 or 4 pumps in my palm of my hand and mix that all in and just kind of put that through my hair, let everything air dry, and it really helps give that more piecey look, you know, with someone with that pixie haircut. That's what I want. I want that more piecey kind of texture to my hair, and I think this is what's making it magical. And I just feel like my hair is softer. I don't really know. This primer, I love it. And it has a heat UV protective, not like I, blow dry my hair or anything, but that's good for the summer or, all year round. Really, you're exposed to the sun depending on where you are. So I have loved this. It smells really good too. Okay, moving on. I don't even know where to go. So many goodies. Okay, let's go to something that I came back to, and please pardon how dirty this is because I use this every single day. I used it today to put my makeup on, so I haven't cleaned it yet, but it's the Real Techniques Complexion Sponge. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think so. I've always been a beauty blender fan. I mean, I still have my beauty blender. I have it right here in front of me, but I just can't justify paying that much. And I said, you know what? I had tossed out my old one. I wasn't using it. It was getting old, so I tossed it, and then I just repurchased. I actually got a dual pack. I should have shown the clean one. But this one is just, I don't know, I kind of like it better than the Beauty Blender now. I just love it so much. I think it's the shape that I like the most because, as you can see, I use both ends, but this is perfect to bump in foundation. It takes me 2 seconds to bump this over because you get that really nice flat edge. And then the pointy part, I actually use this just to apply concealer under my eye. And then I use the flat side because I feel like for my eye shape, my orbital area, the flat shape gets in there a lot easier than, the point, because compared to the Beauty Blender, this is a little bit, dropping sponges. This is a little fatter here. It doesn't come to a point. That's what I do like about the Beauty Blender because you can get in the inner corner. But I find that the flat side's been really working for me, and it's just so soft, and I really, really like this sponge. But enough about sponges. Great sponge. Definitely get it. Great. I wouldn't say dupe for the Beauty Blender, but great alternative, and I kind of like it a little bit better now. I know. Continuing on with things that made it back in my life, Physicians Formula was on sale. I think they were doing their big 40% off. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back to an old one. I got the Bronze Booster. Now, this was the very first bronzer I had ever purchased way back when, because bronzers weren't a thing when I was in high school. No one, it was just blush, just powder, whatever. So when these started to come out, this was the very first one I picked up. And this is in the shade light to medium, and it is a matte shade, but it does say it's glow boosting, but it's matte. And I would say, in my opinion, I think it's more of a satin finish, but it leans a little bit more like a satin matte, if that makes any sense. But it's such a nice shade. It doesn't come off orangey. When I swatch it on my hand, it does look a little orange on camera, but It doesn't look like that on the skin. It's really the only one in the drugstore other than e.l.f. because I do like that e.l.f. That contour palette that I enjoy. And I felt very nostalgic with this because this really was my first one. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick this up. And they have other alternative ones. Ones that have like the little pink dot in the middle. I don't know. This is the one I like, the original bronze booster in that little like tan goldy bronzed packaging. Really, really love that. Talk about some blushes that I've been loving. Now that we're into the fall, I kind of gravitate a little bit more towards a mauve blush shade as opposed to the bright pinks and the corals, that kind of thing. I kind of reserve those for my spring and summer months. So the two that I've been really enjoying is the first one, it's the Maybelline Dream Bouncy. I had never tried the Dream Bouncies. I think I got this a month ago and I really love this shade. I love this formula too. It's very, you know, spongy. You know, it kind of feels like a little sponge, and when, you know, it's a really pretty shade. When you put it on the skin, it is, oh, that's a bad swatch. You can't even see that color. When you put it onto the skin, it's a cream, but it does blend out to kind of a satin, powdery type finish. And I really like it. It gives a really nice sheen. I don't know, you're probably not gonna be able to see that, but it's a really, really nice finish. And the color's perfect. This is in the shade Plum Wine. I really, really like this a lot. And if you want to go a little heavier, dab it on with your fingers. If you want something that's a little lighter and buildable, I use just a fluffier brush and just really pack that on the brush and then blend that out. It's such a beautiful shade. Another affordable one is my e.l.f. blush. This is in the color Mellow Mauve. I think I used this in a tutorial, in a fall tutorial, I think. Yeah. And this one, and I think in my tutorial I did say it was matte, but you know, now that I've been wearing it for about a month, I'm gonna say that it's a little bit more, it's got a sheen to it. So when I put it on my cheeks, I feel like there is a purple iridescence to it. It's really hard to explain because in the pan it looks completely matte, but when I put it on my cheeks, and even if I were to swatch it, it looks completely matte and flat. But then, hold on, I'm gonna build up a good swatch and hopefully you can see it. So when I look at it straight on, it's a really beautiful blush kind of mauve shade. But if you were to look at it in the light, and you're probably not gonna be able to see it, there is a purple iridescence to it. It's kind of like, it almost looks duochrome, but it doesn't look too obvious on the cheeks. It almost adds a little bit of a highlight. I don't know. It's a really weird finish, but I like it a lot. Keep it on with the face. Let's move to a highlighter. This is a new one that came out, and it's another affordable. We're keeping with the trend of affordable products. It's the Wet n Wild Fergie line. I had one of these highlighters. It was the pink one. I can't remember the name of it, and I tossed it a long time ago because I just wasn't using it. It was a very pale champagne pink, and it was nice, but it wasn't a wow type product. So this one recently came out. It's got the little new sticker. This is in the color Hollywood Boulevard, and I don't know what's different about this formula, but it is so much better than the other one. I mean, maybe my memory is not so good, but I was not wowed by the texture and the finish on that. But this one, I love it. It is a gold type highlight. So if you're someone who likes more champagnes or rosy highlights, you probably wouldn't like this. It is a little bit more of a gold highlight, but this is gorgeous. I'm gonna do a swatch. This is so soft. I mean, it's Wet n Wild. I can't even handle this. Can you see that? That's Wet n Wild. This isn't Becca. That is Wet n Wild. I am not even kidding you. I have been using this every single day. Actually, I have it on today. It's towards the end of the day. I've had this on since like 6 o'clock this morning, so it's probably not really so vibrant on camera, but I'm gonna just do a little something on here. Let's just put it on. Let's just touch up. I actually apply it with a fluffier brush. It's kind of my thing lately. I mean, do you see that? And it's not sparkly. Might as well do the other side. It's not sparkly at all. It's gorgeous. I love this highlighter. Look at that. So beautiful. Okay, moving on to the eyes. I have been using my e.l.f. Matte palette so much. I just forgot how much I loved this palette. I've been using this almost every single day. I use eyeshadow as a transition shade, as just a full matte shade. I won't talk about this too much because I did do a review on it and I talk about it a lot in my videos, so I won't bore you again, but just know this is a really great matte palette. If you're looking for one, definitely try this one out. It's affordable. It has some beautiful, beautiful shades, neutrals, warmer shades, cooler shades. You can just about pull off any look, and it's great to have a full matte palette in your collection, so really recommend this. And you may probably already know this because in one of my videos I did rave about how much I love this. It's the Sonia Kashuk. It's the Grand Bazaar line, the color Crushed Petal. It's what I actually have on my lips right now. I want them to create this for a full line because it's like a little limited edition, like special collection thing, and I just, oh my gosh, this formula is amazing for a matte lipstick. It's like a velvet matte lipstick. It wears so well, so long. It doesn't feel drying. I mean, of course, if your lips are really dry and flaky, yes, it's probably not going to do well with a matte lipstick, but any matte lipstick would do that. But this one, I can't even tell you how much I love it. I wear it almost every day. I can't get away from it. If you can find these in your Target, I would definitely recommend picking it up. There's another color that's more of a wine shade that I tried looking for, but I cannot find it at my Target, you know, because they're not replenishing this line. I don't think it, you know, whenever it's out, it's out. So I'm really bummed that I didn't get the other color. Now to the unfavorites. I have two. The first one is the Covergirl Intensify Me. This, okay, I probably should have known I wouldn't like it. First of all, packaging. Cap just barely, it just sits on. It's really weird. It doesn't do a snap. So I feel like it's gonna dry out faster, number one. Number two, I don't know if you can see, but it is a round felt tip pen. I don't really get the point of that because if you're doing a cat eye, it's almost impossible. I mean, someone may be able to do it, but for me, I want a really sharp tip on my cat eye. You can't do it with this. So here's if you're doing it, you know, the, what's the word? The flat side. So see that thickness. And then if you go on the thinner part, which that's the idea, that, do you see how kind of gray and gross that is? I feel like this is also dried up. I mean, it's one of those pens that you have to go over and over, and then if you go over too much, it starts to almost erase your eyeliner. Oh, it's just horrible. I hate to be so negative about a product, but I hate this pen so much. The last non-favorite is the Hard Candy Glamoflauge. As you can see, this is like a full tube. I heard some people talk about how this is really good for something in the drugstore. It says it's a heavy-duty concealer, and it is very opaque. I'll do a little swatch for you to see. I think also too, this is just way too light for me. I always go with a lighter shade because I like to brighten under my eyes, but this is just, it's just way too white. So you can see it is very opaque, very full coverage, but for me, under my eyes, it's so dry and it gets really crepey, and this is such a shame because look at that. That's a very opaque concealer, but it dries weird and it's almost greasy. It feels greasy. Even when I, you know, touch the swatch, it's not a creamy feeling, it's a greasy kind of weird texture, and I don't necessarily want that for my concealer. I don't know. I think it's a personal preference, so you may love this. And it is very affordable, and it does, like I said, it's very pigmented, but I don't like the consistency of it. The texture's not right for me in my under eye, and yeah, it's a shame because, I mean, it was inexpensive, so it's fine, but that's a lot still in there. A little goes a long way, I'll say that, but it's just not working for me. And that is it for my October favorites and the 2 unfavorites. I had a lot of good things this month and I'm really excited, and it's all very fall appropriate. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I'll be loving for November. But let me know what you loved for October. Let me know how you feel about some of the products I mentioned or the products that I didn't like, and if you liked them, all that kind of thing. I love to have a little dialogue, and I love to hear what you're all using and what you think of them. So if you liked this video, as always, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, you know where that button lives. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.